Professor Hutzschenreuter, you did academic research work on the speed at which corporate companies internationalize new business units. You looked into 90 German businesses and empirically analyzed how quickly they internationalize their newly created business units. Why is speed so important in that context?
So actually, first of all, companies are under pressure to create economic value. They can create economic value either by increased efficiency or by growth. So we look at growth. On the other hand, companies face enormous opportunities to create economic value via growth because of globalization. Globalization opens up the space. However, globalization also increases the competitive forces, the competitive intensity. So how do you win competition in such a setting? Actually, in order to be fast. So there is an imperative for companies to be fast.
So what does actually determine the speed if a multinational internationalizes its newly created business unit?
So actually, as you said, we are looking at established multinational enterprises, M&Es, that set up a new business unit, and then to grow this new business unit into other regions, to internationalize this new business unit. So because they haven't been active in before, so there are newcomers in that new business unit, the question is, how do you be fast in order to learn fast? And companies learn via two approaches: direct learning from their own experiences and indirect learning from the experiences of others. So the first finding out of the three findings I would like to include here is that companies make use of indirect learning as more similar the new business unit is compared to the business units the company already has. Because I learn more, if I understand you more, if your experiences I learn from are more relevant for my business. Second finding, companies increase speed via their own experiences, via direct learning of their internationalization experiences within these paths we are researching. And third, and that's a very interesting finding, the two effects, direct and indirect learning, are sub-additive. So you can't increase the speed up to infinity, so there are natural limits of speed, which is, has very much practical implications later on.
Okay. What do you reckon is unique about your research in the context of, say, other studies who look into that field?
I think the first thing is to do speed research at all, at this level. So there is no other research out there that researches the speed at this corporate level, however, including details of specific business units. So how could we do this? We have created over years a proprietary database that includes more than 50,000 investment and divestment steps. We know the full change of portfolio activities of the companies we are researching. We are capturing 164 countries, companies internationalized to or also de-internationalized from. So it's the fact, what do we research and how do we do it? Actually, you have to take into consideration that you can only do this research if you know the full chain of activities, which we could because of the data we have.
Finally, who could make use of these findings?
Actually, first of all, executives who are, as I said at the beginning, under pressure to create economic value. So they have to ask themselves, how can I justify an investment? I justify the investment by value creation. How can I create more value by being fast? So looking at this research, they could take something from how can we be faster. Secondly, I think it's investors evaluating companies. They have to ask, do we really understand what they are doing? Because it makes a difference whether company A or company B sets up a certain kind of business because they bring other resources, to support this kind of business. And thirdly, maybe also my colleagues, academics, can learn from how to conduct this dynamic kind of strategy research with data that capture, 30 years and more.
Thank you.
Thank you very much as well.